What's up, everyone? My name is Alex, and welcome to my little corner of the internet. I wanted to do another video on, I guess, reviewing lesser known flags. The original video, I had named it like critiquing flag designs or critiquing pride flags, but I think it's more like I just want to review flags. I want to talk about what I like and what I don't like about some flag designs, and my number one rule is it's identities that I can experience. I'm not going to go and critique all the lesbian pride flags that there are. That's not my place. I can say like, oh, I like the colors of this, or I like the way this looks, or how it represents the identity, but those, I'm not touching flags that aren't mine. So it's really just right now lesser known flags, and a lot of them are going to be non-binary related. I haven't recorded a video at this angle in so long. I feel like I'm gaming. I feel like I'm back on my gaming channel. So the first flag that I have here is Maverick. Maverick is, not male, female, masculine, feminine, nothing that derives from those that dichotomy, and it's not neutral and it's not genderless, but it's some kind of genderedness, and it's reflected in the yellow and orange, which you don't see representative of male, female. Usually thinking of the binary, usually pink, blue, and then in between would be purple, and in between that possibly like like a pinkish purple, or like an indigo, to represent like being in between the in-betweens. That's how I usually see the binary represented, and all the identities that kind of flow between it like a spectrum. But Maverick, it's very simple. It's reminiscent of the genderqueer pride flag, which I love. You don't really see a lot of three-stripe flags anymore, so I love that. It's orange and yellow. Those are like otherin identities, or otherin, meaning not male, not female, and not relating to male or female. So I like the design. It's very simple, very iconic. I don't think I would change anything about this flag. I love it. Reminds me of macaroni and cheese. I can't have that. That's too much dairy for me. So a poor agender is separate from male, female, anything in between, without being genderless. It's very similar to Maverick, except it can include being gender neutral. It's just that it's not a genderless identity, indicated by all the colors on it. The colors are beautiful. The Apora gender pride flag is gorgeous. I guess my only the only issue I have with it is that it includes pink and blue and purple as if it's both and in between those things. It doesn't represent not being those things. I know that the flag is meant to be pink, blue, and those two things separated from the center. The center representing like the genderedness that is separate from the binary, but it seems weird to include pink and blue in a flag that is separate from pink and blue, if that makes any sense. So, I'm not going to give them a rank. I'm not going to give them a score. I wanted to, but I think it's really just reviewing them in general. Pretty flag, though. Love the colors. The gay flag, not gay pride, gay as in G-A-I. It's non-binary gayness. It's experiencing being gay in a non-binary way. This flag is cool. I like they managed to have a spectrum of 7 colors, and it's not really a rainbow. It's kind of color shifted. So it's kind of in the yellow and indigo range of colors. So it goes from like shades of orange. There's no yellow, but shades of orange, and then the green in the center, and then shades of like blue into this odd plum color. What's this color? Yeah, it's a muted magenta. I color picked it to look at it, but I like this flag. I like the colors. It's definitely lesser known. So if I see a color palette with these colors, or if I were to make something using this color palette, I don't know if people would recognize it, but the colors are very nice. Yeah, I have no issue with it. Yeah, that's wow, that's as simple as that. I think this is the only one that's not a gender that I have on my list for some strange reason. I don't know why I decided to go that way. All right, gender fawn, Genderfey. I'm going to review them both side by side. I'll be honest. Now that I look at it, the gender fawn flag looks very similar to the gay flag, GAI. If I were to put a green stripe in the center, it would literally look like that flag. Just slightly different tint to some of the colors, but no, that straight up just looks like the gay flag. Genderfey, very pretty, with the green and the pink making me think of the Fae, forest fairies. My only issue is that this entire set of identities, gender fawn, gender faunette, gender floor, gender fae, like talking about being gender fey or being partially gender fey, a lot of the flags are similar. It's so hard to tell the difference between them. I had started a project that I never finished because that's always what I do. And I was redesigning gender fey, gender fawn, gender floor, and I had added like gender sylph. Was that mine? I don't know. There was something I had added that wasn't part of the original, and I made them unique colors because it was just bothering me that like some of these look so similar. They're very hard to tell apart. Because there's gender faunette being fluid between genders that are not female, but then there's gender fawn, and then gender faunette is like basically being demi-gender fawn, partially fluid between identities that are not female related at all. And the flag for both, they just look almost identical to me. That's my only that's the only thing that I have to say about those, but I like the color palette. The color palettes are so nice. It just stinks that gender fawn looks pretty similar to the non-binary gay flag. It's just the white stripe in the center that distinguishes it, but I mean, it's gonna happen. Like, that's fine. No one's it's not a like it's not saying that someone copied off someone else or anything like that. It's just like, I don't know, maybe gender fawn and gender fey would do better as 5-striped flags instead of 7-striped flags. Maybe that could be like the way to like fix that, I guess. Make it look more like the gender fluid flag, but in a non-binary way. Boy X, it's boy spelled with an X instead of the O. It's an agender boy. Pretty self-explanatory. It's the agender pride flag, but the center has blue stripes to indicate malehood. I mean, it's basically a non-binary male. I would have used some blues, but maybe some greens, something that is not literally blue equals boy, pink equals girl kind of thing. But it's a simple flag, and it gets the point across like an agender boy. It's literally the two flags combined, or the two ideas combined into one flag. Girl X, that's girl with the X replacing the I. Same idea. I think there's also a little bit of eye strain between the pink and the gray. It's a little hard to make flags using gray without colors bleeding into one another. Like, you have to be really careful using red, using green, and using gray. They like to bleed into other colors, red especially. Like, you have to be very careful using red in your flag designs, but same deal. I would have used like a purple or maybe even orange to indicate that like it's not female in the same way that a binary female would be represented in a flag. So it's simple, but I also like always forget what these flags look like. The like agender boy, agender girl flags, I always forget what they look like. Because I don't know, they don't stand out to me. I like them. I like the idea, but I think the flags could have a better design. Proc Sphere, I specifically have the 4-stripe version of Proc Sphere. The original, I don't like it. It's very complicated. It uses a lot of geometric shapes to get the point across that it is similar to binary male, but on a plane of its own. I like the 4-stripe version, but only if maybe keep the top stripe and the bottom two stripes and change that little in-between blue to something else. Like maybe have it blue, green, that greenish yellow, and then like actual yellow, like maybe shift them a little bit. Because like it kind of bleeds, the two center stripes kind of bleed into each other. It's kind of a gradient, but the bottom stripe and the top stripe stand out a lot, so it only does like the gradient effect in the center. So slightly different colors, but green, yellow, like when I think non-binary man, I think green and yellow. I like those colors to represent the identity. Jukes era, I've got the 4-stripe flag because, again, the original flag is a little complicated. There's a lot of shapes to it. I've never been able to replicate it when I do like flag edits. So I use the 4-stripe design, and I don't like the red. It's a little bright. It's a little harsh. I think that if like it could use more purples. I mean, I know there's like, oh, that's hot pink. That's not even purple at the top. That's just a dark, like hot pink, basically. Yeah, I think we could shift the colors a little bit. I think it was like a little bit more muted, a little softer, because the Proc Sphere flag is very soft. The Jukes era flag is very harsh. Again, you got to be careful with red. Red can be a little complicated to work with. But I mean, the colors, I see where they were going. Nick Sphere, this is basically experiencing both genderlessness and malehood, or masculinity, I guess. Kind of like agender male. It's definitely unique. I'm not a fan of gradients. I wish that this had like not so many in-between colors. I wish it used black. I wish it used a little bit more blue. These are actually more in the purple range. Oh, going down. Okay, they do technically, these grayish colors technically are falling in the blue range. You can't see that because it's a gradient that goes very, very light. The top one is technically indigo. This is very dark. I'm color picking to look at it. But I think you could keep the dark indigo, like maybe the top two stripes, but I think some blacks and some blues, some very obvious blue colors might like help it pop, similar to the agender boy flag. But I mean, it definitely has a unique color palette, but I don't even know if you can call it a color palette if it's literally a gradient. I don't think you can make merch out of this and people would know what it is. I think you need one or two more distinct colors in order to make it a palette. All right, the Toric flag. This is non-binary people attracted to men. Sort of me, but I don't use the definition. I like the purple and green. I like, because it's reminiscent of the genderqueer pride flag, the purple and green colors. I don't like the center stripe. I think the center stripe should be darker, because that blue bleeds into the green very easily, and I think it can be slightly color adjusted to be a bit better. But very pretty purple colors, purple and pink colors at the top, and then the greens. I like that a lot. The trixic flag, that's non-binary attraction to women, and I think they could have kept the purple at the top and the green at the bottom instead of this orange. And I think the center could have been a pink or something like that to represent that attraction. But this flag has more distinct colors, or at least like more contrast between the colors than the Toric flag does. Toric, those two center stripes, or the two, like the stripe in the center and the one below it, kind of bleed into each other. You don't get that with the trixic flag, but I think you could make them look similar to each other, but obviously with the distinction of the stripe in the center, and I think that would bring the point across a little bit better. Also, the trixic flag feels weird. That middle stripe is red. That's not even, it's a very light red to make it look like pink, but it doesn't have enough blue in it to look like a powder pink. It looks like the pink from the trans pride flag. That might be what that is. Oh, that might be the pink from the trans pride flag, that like it's red but it's very light, so it looks like pink. I see. But yeah, could be slightly adjusted. The Zerl flag, girl, but replacing the G with an X. Non-binary girl. The flag's a little complicated. It's really hard to replicate this flag. The colors are very unique. The white, the like very, very dark gray, and then this like purple and green going on. Actually, well, it's kind of pink. It's pink, but it's closer to like purple on the spectrum from what I'm color picking here. But it's unique. It could probably do with a redesign. Just because this is very hard to replicate. Probably hard to design a literal, like, not printed, a literal flag, like how I have the trans pride flag. Like, it might be difficult making a fabric flag out of this, but, I mean, it looks girl, but different. I wouldn't have done dark gray, because I guess the dark gray can encompass, like, genderlessness, but, I think it could have a different palette. Probably sticking with the 5 stripes, but like pink, green, and like maybe orange or something. When I think of a non-binary girl, I think like orange and pink, similar colors like that. The Zoe flag, it's the same thing. It's boy, but the B is replaced with the X. Kind of the same gripe with this flag. I don't like the green and blue. Cool that like this is an identity that exists and someone made a flag for it. I love when there are no flags for an identity and someone makes one, so that like people feel like they're being included, that they're being recognized. But yeah, redesign it. Just 5 stripes without this like weird triangular thing going on. Kind of looks like a bow tie. It's like a dapper non-binary boy. But yeah, I think redesigning it with some different colors would be nice. So we have Xenogender. It is a rainbow with a very specific palette in mind, because the top is reds and oranges, like a little gradient. The bottom's like purples and blues. There's no green. It uses yellow instead. And I think I could recognize this flag from a distance. I like the symbol. I would love to find out why that symbol. It's interesting. I know it looks like a rainbow. It also reminds me of an open book almost. Like it's such an interesting choice for a symbol, but I would love to know like how this person came up with this symbol, with the star. I mean, the star probably means like otherworldly. It's interesting that the star is upside down. Like, I'm fascinated with like what the symbol might mean, why the symbol was created the way it was. I wonder if I can find that. But I like the color palette of the Xenogender flag, because it's a rainbow, but it looks different. You can tell. Also, sometimes the symbol has a white, like it's white instead of like almost black. But when I'm editing flags, I use the like very dark one because it stands out better. Could you imagine being the person who invented the word Xenogender? Could you imagine being that person? And that you like you made a difference. Like, it's interesting. I love it. Oh my god, it's an astrological symbol. That's what that symbol is. Astronomical sign for the asteroid Iris, named after a Greek goddess of rainbows. That's cool. So that's what that is. That upside down star with the arch is a symbol for Iris, the Greek goddess. Okay, that's really cool. I figured I'd find it somewhere. That's awesome. That's why, okay, there's an alternate Xenogender flag that uses a stylized iris, like the flower in the center. I see it now. That's cool. Okay. I love it. That's I learned something. That's fantastic. Okay, so anyway, that's I guess a review of some lesser known flags, kind of building off of the other video I did reviewing flags, more common identities in that video. But yeah, let me know if you want to see more. I kind of like talking about how colors come together, how symbols work for identities, and how flags represent gendered experiences. I'm a really big fan of looking into stuff like that. So I guess that's about it, and I am signing off for now. See you later.